The Catholic Church has long been one of the most powerful and influential institutions in the world. Spanning centuries, it has shaped cultures, nations, and even wars, but with such power comes responsibility, and a history marred by dark and troubling episodes, especially since the turn of the 20th century. From supporting war crimes and genocide to horrific child abuse scandals, the Catholic Church's actions over the past century have left an indelible stain on its reputation. As the world plunged into the horrors of World War II, the Catholic Church's relationship with the Nazi regime remains one of its darkest chapters. Many leaders within the Church, including Pope Pius XII, have been accused of turning a blind eye to the atrocities of the Nazis, or in some cases offering support. The Vatican, under Pope Pius XII, has been criticized for its silence in the face of the Holocaust. Pope Pius XII, often referred to as Hitler's Pope, was in power during the rise of the Nazi regime. Despite evidence of Nazi atrocities against Jews and other minority groups, the Vatican largely refrained from publicly denouncing Hitler's government. Moreover, the Church was implicated in helping Nazi war criminals escape after the war through the Ratlines. These were escape routes that allowed Nazi officials, including those responsible for war crimes, to flee to South America, where they were shielded by Catholic clergy. Though some church members risked their lives to protect Jews, the Vatican's role in helping Nazis escape raises serious ethical questions about the institution's priorities during the war. The Catholic Church's role in colonization also left a dark legacy. In the Americas, the Church was complicit in the violent colonization and near genocide of native North American populations. From the 16th century onward, Catholic missionaries, under the guise of spreading Christianity, were often at the forefront of campaigns that displaced, enslaved, and killed indigenous people. These actions were especially egregious in regions like Canada, the United States, and Latin America. In Canada, Catholic-run residential schools forcibly removed thousands of indigenous children from their families. These children were subjected to abuse, forced labor, and attempted cultural erasure. In recent years, the Church has been forced to acknowledge its role, though reparations and justice for the victims remain insufficient. Perhaps the most horrific and wide-reaching scandal that has plagued the Catholic Church in recent decades involves the systematic sexual abuse of children by clergy members. Since the 1980s, tens of thousands of children worldwide have been victims of abuse at the hands of priests, monks, and other clergy members. Investigations have uncovered that for decades, church officials actively covered up the abuse, protecting the perpetrators and silencing victims. The 2002 Boston Globe investigation into the Archdiocese of Boston revealed that more than 70 priests had abused children, and church leaders had moved them from parish to parish instead of removing them from their positions. The Boston case was just one of many. Courts have estimated that hundreds of thousands of victims have been affected by this global scandal. The Church has faced billions of dollars in settlements, yet the institution's responsibility remains a topic of intense debate. Cardinal Bernard Law, one of the most notorious figures in the abuse scandal, was promoted despite knowledge of his role in covering up abuse. His eventual removal from Boston after years of pressure was widely seen as an insufficient response to the magnitude of the scandal. Despite its vast wealth, the Catholic Church has often been criticized for failing to adequately support the poor and suffering. The Vatican's coffers are estimated to hold billions, yet it has historically been reluctant to distribute its wealth in times of crisis. One example is the Ethiopian Famine of the 1980s, when millions of people were starving, and the Church failed to take meaningful action despite its vast financial resources. While the Catholic Church certainly provided some relief efforts, the Vatican's vast wealth could have done much more. Instead, the Church's priorities often seem to lie in maintaining its global influence and securing its finances, rather than addressing urgent humanitarian needs. Despite the overwhelming evidence of the Church's complicity in these heinous acts, some within the Vatican have begun to acknowledge its past. Pope Francis has made attempts to address some of the scandals, including apologizing to indigenous groups and victims of sexual abuse. But the question remains, will the Catholic Church ever truly reckon with its past? Will it be held accountable for the suffering it has caused, or will it continue to hold on to its wealth and power while millions suffer around the world? The Catholic Church, an institution built on faith and service, has an undeniable legacy of good, but its actions over the past century, whether by silence, complicity, or active wrongdoing, demand reflection, reparations, and reform. Only then can it hope to rebuild the trust it has lost and begin to heal the wounds it has caused.